All right, well, good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody had a fantastic Memorial Day weekend, and it is a good day. And we would like to start our program today with Rob Burrill, President of Healthcare 1199 Northeast. Yeah. Rob Burrill.
Brothers and sisters, good morning. I am Rob Burrill. I'm the president of District 1199, the New England Healthcare Employees Union. On behalf of our 25,000 healthcare workers, we're here for a joyous occasion, which is moving working families ahead with the signing of the $15 an hour minimum wage here in Connecticut. We are here today at Parkville Manor, which is an 1199 represented facility. It's a nursing home run by, and operated by iCare, which is a large nursing home chain here in Connecticut. We represent about 100 licensed practical nurses, certified nurses assistants, housekeepers, and dietary workers. With iCare, we just in the wee hours of Friday morning, settled contracts that moved the last few remaining workers below $15 an hour upwards and close to $15 an hour. So, wonderful news.
Hang on 1 second.
Our members here at Parkville and really throughout our union, throughout 1199, nursing home workers, hospital workers, home care workers, are overwhelmingly women, primarily black and brown women, largely immigrants, and are concentrated at the lower end of the economic scale between $13 and $17 per hour. The work that our members do are careers. They're not just jobs. They're labors of love, taking care of people, the sick, the elderly, the infirm. That really is a labor of love, but we can't eat love. We need livable wages. And the more enlightened of our employers, like iCare, very much understand that, but getting to 15 has been a fight. It's a fight where we've had to overcome the legacy of discrimination. We've had to fight corporate greed. We've had to fight right-wing politicians who have fought tooth and nail to keep working people down. But based on our unity in 1199, based on a 5-year struggle, our members mostly, not all, but mostly have attained a $15 an hour minimum wage. It's based on our union power, our strike threats, our collective bargaining, and really a heroic struggle to create a political movement in this state to move all workers ahead. We're lifting up everyone, black workers, white workers, Latino workers, men, women, immigrant and native born, to a wage standard that everybody deserves, to get to the point where we are closer to a vision of racial, economic, and gender justice. This win obviously affects all workers, but we know what is true for healthcare workers in terms of low wages is true for many sectors in the economy in the 21st century. Food service, hotels, child care workers, janitorial workers, many others. So this victory would not be possible. We would not be here today without the struggle of workers to stand up, but of course, also the help of so many of our friends in the legislature, people who've been friends, champions, and of course, most importantly, somebody who campaigned on 15 as part of his platform, Governor Ned Lamont, our friend. Thank you.
Rob, thank you so much for your leadership. In a few moments, you are going to hear from speakers about how the increase in the minimum wage will lift families out of poverty, will reduce the burden on state services, and will help grow our state's economy. Additionally, raising the minimum wage will address persistent pay disparities between different races and genders. The governor and I always have said women's issues are economic issues. And we say that because 60% of our minimum wage earners in our state are women. 170,000 households in our state are headed by women. So if we want to grow our economy, we need to ensure that women have financial security in order to provide for their families. So this legislation will do just that. It is very historic, and I am so honored to work every day with two very passionate, strong advocates There are no more ardent advocates in our state than the people that we are going to hear from today, and also my dear friends, Senator Kushner and Representative Robyn Porter, who have fought this fight for our workers. So with that, is Angel Candelaria here? Angel Candelaria, are you here? All right, with that, we're going to go to A.J. Johnson, pastor of Urban Hope Refuge Pentecostal Church.
I want everyone to repeat after me. Say, I believe that we will win. Say, I believe that we will win. 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 Woo! I'm getting really, really old, and that's getting very, very hard. But today is an outstanding day in the state of Connecticut. Wow, we are going to sign a bill for $15. Now, can we please make some noise for that? Wow. Wow. I remember a union organizer by the name of Ben Zucker. I don't know if we all remember who Ben Zucker is. He came from New Orleans. He came by my church and said, along with Kennard Ray, and said, Pastor AJ, how many of your members here work in the fast food industry? And I thought, well, I was like, I don't have insurance executives at my church. You know, I don't have big-time politicians at my church. And I realized that most of my congregation were minimum wage workers. And they said, Pastor AJ, we want you to join in this fight for a fair wage. And I have my wife here with me today, only because Melinda Johnson, only because the many mornings that we would get up and have a strike line at 7 a.m., she was there wondering why I was getting up so early in the morning and why I was leaving and why we were just being dragged across the state to do this. But today, everything that we put in for it is coming to pass, and I am just extremely excited for this. One thing that people don't know is that every job that I've had, I've got fired from. And that's only because whenever it came time to stand and be with workers and hear the stories of workers, I'm not going to say my job didn't matter, but I knew that these folks needed someone to stand with them and be with them for the long haul. And I am honored to say over the years, I've met so many workers, one of them being Kevin. We're at Kevin Burgos. We pulled Kevin from a Burger King years ago and said, Kevin, will you walk out with us? Will you walk out with us and fight for this wage with us? And Kevin brought so many, please put our hands together for Kevin. Kevin lives in the north end of Hartford. Kevin said, I'm going to walk out of this Dunkin' Donuts. I'm going to walk out of here and pray and hope that we get a better wage. And today, Kevin, congratulations, brother. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. And I'll say this to all of the organizers, to all of the workers, to everyone who stepped out of work to join this strike line, today is your day. So I believe that we will win. Say I believe that we will win. You ready? I believe that we will win. 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 Yeah. Good job, Kev. Good job, Kev.
So to follow that, we have Juan Hernandez, one of our allies, Vice President of 32BJ.
Do it, Juan. Do it, Juan.
It's gratifying to be here today. This fight started 5 years ago
Yeah.
People call us crazy because no one believed that this could become a reality, not only here in Connecticut, but in many other states and cities that are fighting for 15. I'm proud today to say that I had 5 workers with me that they will earn a minimum wage of $11 coming October 1st. Why? Because friends like the AFL, many other community groups, the State Council of SEIU helped us to get here today. And we made a commitment last year that any elected official that we will support will have to support the Fight for 15.
Yeah.
And brothers and sisters, it's more gratifying to see the result because they fight for us, we fight for them, we got it then elected, and today we will deliver our promise to the 330,000 people in the state of Connecticut that when you fight, you win.
Yeah.
Thank you.
32!
So we now have AJ Angel Candelario, who works in the fast food industry. AJ. Angel.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's fine. It's a beautiful name. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleasured. I'm pride. I am so privileged to be here. I want to thank my family, all of you. I want to thank Robyn Porter. I want to thank Julie. I want to thank Rochelle. I want to thank Kevin. I want to thank the people that gave me the opportunity to speak on the behalf of my brothers and sisters in our community, to let them know that someone is out here fighting and going through the same equal struggle, that nobody's going to stop doing what we're doing. We're here today just to thank the governor. I want to thank every single personnel in this facility and out the facility that gave us the chance. We've been doing this for 7 years.
Yeah.
7 hard, long years, okay? And, 6, thank you. But 7 states, we have 7 states, and I've been having a little mental vision that we already have 7 states, and this isn't going to be a nationwide. You might as well just let all 50 states just jump on board.
Yeah.
Well, 43, because we already got 7 of them. So please,
That's good, man.
that's already like, this is gonna be an epidemic. It's gonna be a domino effect. Please just start following and start doing what it is, doing what is right for the people, for your people, okay? Because this is for the future, for your children, your children's grandchildren's, okay? That we fight for a better cause, a better living, period. And I love you for doing this for us. I love you. I thank you.
Thank you. Angel, thank you so much. And I'll say that throughout the course of our campaign, Governor Lamont and I had the privilege of talking to voters all over the state who said they wanted to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and who said we want to pass paid family and medical leave in Connecticut. And now we have the opportunity to celebrate that first step, and it is a great honor for me to introduce my partner in government, Ned Lamont.
Hey, everybody. Look, as Angel said, we've been working on this for, 5, 6, 7 years. We tried and failed a couple of times. And this year, we got it done.
That's right.
As Pastor Johnson reminded us, with a lot of energy and passion, as Joe Biden might have said, this is a big deal. and we could not have done it without Julie and Robyn taking the lead every day and reminding us what we've got to do. And Rob and Juan and 32BJ and SEIU, I'll never forget the day during the campaign that you got me together with about 15 folks. And what raising them to first 11, then 12, and up to $15 would mean for these people. And they were overwhelmingly women, women of color, often single parents, but parents. And, you know, 1 out of 5 kids in this state grows up in a family with a minimum wage parent. And I was just struck. I remember it like yesterday. It wasn't what they were going to buy. It wasn't what they were otherwise going to. It was the fact that they were working 2 jobs. And maybe if they could work a job and a half, they could be home when their kid got home from school at the end of the day. Or they could be there when their child went off to school in the morning, and what that would mean for a family. I remember that meeting like yesterday, and that's why we're here today. What it means for families, what it means for working families, and what it means for those kids. And somebody else who's going to speak comes from CareCentrix. And I just want you to know the story resonated with me as a small business person, because there's some, you know, grousing from small business. Oh my gosh, it's another regulation cost. CareCentrix was going through a pretty tough time as they administer health benefits for folks about 5 years ago. And they had to figure out what they're going to trim and how they had to get more lean. And I hope you're going to hear this story. They did something very different 5 years ago. The management stood up and said, we're going to trim our belts. We're going to tighten our belts. We're going to do what we can at the management level, and we're going to raise up all the folks who work here to $15 minimum wage. That's what they did 5 years ago. That's what they did by setting the example. What that meant for morale, what that meant for the people there. Now they're growing, they're expanding because they treat their folks with respect. And that's what this bill is all about, treating people with respect. So I don't know what the drill is now, but it's my opportunity, I think, to sign a bill.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Governor, I know you're excited to sign that. However, we have just a few more people to hear from. We couldn't have done this in our state Senate without the vision and the leadership and the lifetime of passion and hard work for families, Senator Julie Kushner.
Well, let me just say that I really enjoyed the moment of passing this bill in the state Senate. But I know that this would not have happened without a movement. And that movement, as you've heard here today, began many years ago. And the real honor for me was the number of times I got to march through a Burger King or a Wendy's and say the chant that we just heard, I believe that we will win. And it was that experience by so many workers across this country that got us to this day. Now, it's true that the people of Connecticut elected us with the vision that we would pass a minimum wage of $15. And they elected us to pass paid family and medical leave. And they elected us to make sure that our system of taxation is fair for everyone in the state of Connecticut. These were the priorities that I ran on, and these are the priorities that we all shared a vision that would make a different Connecticut. But to be there on that moment when we voted for minimum wage in the state Senate, and to see the leadership of our Senate, Senators Duff and our President, Senator Looney, who both are with us today, that leadership I saw from the Senate was incredible. And Marty, who's become a good friend, shared with me something. I hope you don't mind if I say it. When we voted that night and we walked out to address the press, Marty turned to me with such excitement and enthusiasm and said, tonight we were all Democrats. And that meant something so important. I will carry that with me. But let me just close by saying, as a lifetime union organizer, I organized thousands and thousands of workers. I negotiated contracts for 5 workers at a time and 5,000 workers at a time. But never did I have the experience of being part of winning a raise for 332,000 people in the state of Connecticut. And I think we can say that with the passage of this bill and with the signing today by our governor, Governor Lamont, we can say together, Connecticut just got a raise.
It's now my pleasure to bring forward LAIZER KORNWASSER, the president and COO of CareCentrix.
Governor Lamont, as president of CareCentrix, it's our pleasure to be here and support you in signing today's important bill. As you mentioned, 5 years ago, CareCentrix made the decision to raise the minimum wage that we pay our employees to over $15 an hour. 4 years ago, we implemented that. We understood that the frontline employees assist patients, providers, and plans in navigating a complex healthcare system. We made the decision to increase the minimum wage that we pay our employees because we felt that was the right thing to do. We made the decision to increase the minimum wage that we pay our employees because we knew we were investing in our single most important resource, our single most important asset, our employees. And we made the decision to increase the minimum wage that we pay our employees because we knew it was the best thing that we can do for the long-term growth of our company. Governor Lamont, I'm happy to tell you that since we made that decision, we've doubled the revenue of our company, and we've more... And we've more than doubled the number of employees that we have in the state of Connecticut. In addition to being president of CareCentrix, I'm also a professor of entrepreneurial leadership at Yeshiva University. And one of the things that I do is I teach my students that a leader has to have emotional intelligence. A leader needs to have empathy, and a leader needs to understand each and every individual. And if you can do that, you can be a true leader. So it's my pleasure to let you know that we at CareCentrix will continue to invest in our employees because we believe that that's what will propel the long-term growth of our company. So it really is our pleasure to be here with you today as you sign this important bill. Thank you very much.
So the right thing is not always the easy thing. As Angel said, it took 6 years of hard work and organizing, and it also took almost 24 hours worth of debate in the State House by one of the most energetic people that I know, Representative Robyn Porter.
Thank you. Oh my God. What a day, what a moment. What a day, what a moment. And I will start with this. Teamwork makes the dream work. Didn't do it alone. Everyone in this room and so many others that contributed to this, making this happen this year. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, this is so personal. I have been that mom, that single mom, raising 2 kids, working 3 jobs, CWA, bartending, and working at Kmart when they were around. And I can tell you, my son was raising my daughter. And it came to a point where I said, you know what? Well, I didn't say. God said, you need to go home. You need to go home. You need to quit these 2 jobs. You need to stick with that 1 job. And you need to trust me. I will supply the need. And it was by faith that I made it this far. So once I got to the building and I understood the fight for 15, personally what it meant, I had no choice. It could have been 14 hours, 24 hours. I was going to stand for as long as it took because I understand the difference we are making in people's lives today. I have during that debate, it was said that 15 is not a livable wage. No, it's not, but it's 1 step closer, right? And that's how we make things happen, 1 step at a time. And it was said, what's $1? What's $1? When you don't have it, that's a lot of money. And you times that by 40, now you're talking $40. You're talking a meal. You're talking a utility bill. You're talking a pair of shoes for the child. You're talking a school trip. The things that low-wage workers, the parents who work these low-wage jobs can't provide for their children. Their kids are already struggling. The family is struggling. We want strong communities. Strong families is where we start. So I am thrilled that we are standing here today and that we can say with great pride and great humility that we did this together. The state of Connecticut has set a trend, and I hope, as my good friend Angel said, that the rest of the states will jump on board and that it won't be the fight it was in Connecticut. But fight or no fight, we got it done. I want to thank the governor for being here and for getting ready to sign this bill. I'm ecstatic. I'm trying to contain myself because this was a huge win. And I just want to say thank you to Marty and to Senator Looney and Senator Duff. I want to thank my leadership, Representative Arasimowicz and Majority Leader Ritter. And I want to thank my great Vice Chair, Representative Joshua Hall, who has truly been my backbone. He has been the wind beneath my wings. He has kept me focused. He has kept me rooted and grounded when things were going crazy. So I have to give you some credit, a lot of credit, Representative Hall, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for always being there when I needed you the most. And I will turn this back over to the governor because I'm ready. I'm ready to see this bill signed. Thank you. I'm sorry. I forgot that I had restaurant workers standing behind me who are actually organizing, and come October 1, they will be getting a raise. They will be making $11 an hour. So I just wanted to recognize them and give them a hand for fighting a good fight and being able to enjoy the prosperity that's going to come with this bill being passed. All right, Governor. Yes. The floor is yours.
What do we want? 15! When do we get it? Now! What do we want? 15! When do we get it? Now! What do we want? 15! When do we get it? Now! What do we want? 15! When do we get it? Now! What do we want? 15! When do we get it? Now! What do we want? 15! When do we get it? Now! What do we want? 15! When do we get it? Now! What do we want? 15! When do we get it? Now! Sí se puede, 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 sí se puede. Kevin, hold the burgers, hold the fries. Hold the burgers, hold the fries.
Hold the burgers, hold the fries.
Come on, did the bill get signed? Yes.